Stop what you're doing because something massive is actually happening that will impact your business and your life like nothing else. There's actually a huge opportunity unfolding right now, and I need to tell you about it. ChatGPT is experimenting with ads in their free subscription tier. I'm old enough in this game to remember when Facebook opened up their ad platform, and for about 2 years, you could pick up clients for a fraction of what it cost anywhere else. There were unlimited eyeballs and almost no advertisers. The founders who moved early made an absolute killing, and then the window closed. This opportunity is bigger than Facebook and Google combined, and here's why. ChatGPT has three things baked into the platform that no ad platform before it has ever had: unbelievable amounts of data, memory, and intelligence. Think about what that actually means. It might know that you've been trying to figure out how to grow your personal brand for the last 6 months, and now you're ready to hire someone to help you do it. It might know that you've been consuming content about scaling your agency, and now you're looking for a system to make it happen. It might know that you're a founder who just crossed $100,000 in revenue, and you're trying to figure out what comes next. And it knows exactly how to talk to you, your tone, your language, and the way that actually influences your decisions. That is a level of targeting that no platform in history has had access to. And right now, almost nobody is advertising on it. So let's talk about how to position yourself to win this. Step one is your budget. And no, I do not want you to think about a fixed marketing budget while this thing is scaling up. A fixed budget is where you say we can spend $5,000 a month on marketing, and that's it. What I want you to think about instead is your allowable cost per lead and your allowable cost per sale. This is where you calculate at the individual deal level. So how much you can spend to win a client and still make the numbers work. So let's say a typical client engagement is worth $5,000 and you're comfortable spending $300 in advertising and sales time to win that deal. Now you know your number. And as long as you're winning clients below that number, your marketing budget is effectively unlimited because every dollar you spend is returning more than $1. Once you know your number, you can scale without a ceiling. Get clearer on what you're willing to spend to win a client and then scale. Now, let me cover a fundamental that has not changed in the entire time that I've been building businesses. It is how to structure your ads. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about ChatGPT ads, LinkedIn sponsored posts, Instagram reels, or a cold email. The structure is the same: hook, value, proposition, credibility, and call to action. Those four things made ads work 20 years ago, and they will make ads work on every platform that comes after this one. A hook is one sentence that captures attention immediately. The best hooks connect to one of three things: the pain your audience is experiencing, the prize they want, or the process they should follow to get there. For a founder audience, that sounds like frustrated that you're posting every day, but your content still isn't bringing in clients. That is a pain hook. Or what if your personal brand could bring in qualified leads while you sleep? That is a prize hook. Pain, prize, or process. Those hooks are evergreen regardless of the platform. The value proposition tells people exactly what they get if they keep engaging with you. It is specific, it is outcome focused, and it tells someone exactly what changes for them if they work with you. So the credibility is why they should believe you. It could be your track record, the results you've generated for clients, how long you've been operating, awards, press, or even third-party endorsements. If you're earlier in your journey, you can reference research, quote, respected frameworks, or even use expert testimonials. The credibility section is what stops people from thinking your offer is too good to be true. Now, the third and most important piece is the call to action. This is where most founders get it wrong. The call to action has to feel like a level up from wherever they already are. If someone is sitting inside ChatGPT getting answers, why would they leave? You have to give them a reason that feels like a genuine progression. Here's how I'm thinking about calls to action for this platform. The first is the human conversation. ChatGPT can give someone information, but it cannot give them lived experience, right? It cannot sit across from them and say, I've been exactly where you are, and here's what I did. That is the differentiation. So one of my primary call to actions is you have the information. Now it's time to talk to someone who has actually lived this. Come have a real conversation with a real founder who has built and rebuilt from the ground up. The second call to action I'm building towards is a custom experience. At House of Founders, we are building out tools and frameworks specifically designed for founders at different stages. A generic AI response is useful. A system that is specifically built around your stage, your goals, and your industry is on a completely different level. That is the angle. And this is not the generic version. This is the one who built specifically for you. The third call to action is direct purchasing. So ChatGPT does not want people leaving the platform. They are going to build in-app purchasing the same way TikTok and Instagram did. That means buying a workshop ticket, a strategy session, a course, or a product directly inside the conversation without ever leaving. So start thinking now about what you can sell in a single click, because that is where this is headed. So start setting up your call to actions now. Get your newsletter, your waiting list, your webinar, booking pages ready before the actual platform opens fully. So when the gun goes off, you want to already be on the track. Now, here's the piece that I am most passionate about: your personal brand. ChatGPT is powerful, but it is not human, right? It has not lived experience. It has never built something from nothing and lost it all and rebuilt from the ground up. You have. And that story, that specific, real, documented human experience is something no AI can replicate or replace. And that is your moat. People are not looking for more information. They are drowning in information. They are looking for someone they trust, someone who has been where they are, someone who can speak to them. Founder to founder, your personal brand is the thing that makes you that person. And here's the reality: social media was never built to amplify business brands. It was built to amplify people, right? The more you show up as a person with a point of view, a story, and a system, the more platforms like ChatGPT will surface your content and send people toward you. The window to establish yourself as a key person of influence in your space is still open, but it will not stay open forever. The founders who move now are the ones who are going to own the attention in their market for the next decade. So position yourself now. Build the brand now, because one of your competitors is already thinking about this. And I promise you, if they move before you do, they are going to win. So here is the summary of what you need to do. Get clear on your allowable cost per lead and allowable cost per sale so your budget can scale with the opportunity. Build your ads around the 4 fundamentals: hook, value, proposition, credibility, and call to action. Set up multiple calls to action so you can test what converts and commit to your personal brand, because it is the single biggest difference you have going into the era of AI powered advertising. Every single week, 800 million people are going into ChatGPT, sharing their problems, their goals, their frustrations, their plans, and 95% of them are on the free tier. That is 760 million people a week. 2.5 billion conversations a day. 80% of those conversations are about education, research, advice, or figuring out what to do next. Those are not cold leads. Those are people who have already identified their problem and are actively looking for a solution. That is the warmest audience that has ever existed in the history of advertising. I don't make these videos to fill time. I make them because I genuinely want to see founders win. And this is one of those rare moments where the timing, the platform, and the opportunity are all lined up at the same time. I don't want you to look back in 2 years and wish you had moved when I told you about this. We are at the starting line and the gun is about to go off. So get ready. If you got value from this, leave a comment below, give it a like, and subscribe. And if you want to stay ahead of everything that we are covering on AI, ads, and personal brand, the link to my newsletter is actually in the description. I'll see you there.